Hello, it's me, Benjamin Brown. Today is August 20th. This is video check-in number 8. Um, I've, I've been doing my best. I was supposed to go work out today. I couldn't work out. It seems like the people that have access to this device that's in my head and that can use psychic ability can trigger emotive responses, and on top of triggering emotive responses, can also trigger impulses or impede them or inhibit them. I've been trying to get in 6 hour routines to build endurance and build strength, but it seems like somebody's trying to impede my capacity to build endurance. And I think that the reason might be is because the less that you work out, the bigger your muscles are, but you're not necessarily stronger. And I know a little bit about weight training and strength training and conditioning, and I'm not the best at form or anything like that because I've never taken any real classes. But I know that the more you work out a muscle, the less results you get with your muscle. But you can still build endurance and build strength through something associated with muscle memory or something. And I'm not exactly going for the heavy bodybuilder look, although I would like to have some size because I know that the bigger the muscle is, the more capacity it has for strength. Um, but like I said before in one of my other videos, that it doesn't seem rational that there is a reliable agency or governing body that is impeding my capacity to train and get ready to be capable of defending myself physically. Um, with what it is that I'm doing and what it is that I've been, to some degree or another, conditioned to be loyal to, um, it doesn't make any sense. I am something of a liability only because I'm vulnerable to psychic influence, and at a moment's notice, somebody can influence me into doing something that I'm not supposed to be doing or is out of my normal uh, habitual behavior. Um, I'm generally mild mannered, and for the most part, I ignore people or ignore things because I don't want to get in trouble. Just because I'm just not interested in being engaged or getting into any kind of trouble. Um, I I I've been trying to get my stats up just in case. There's always a chance that somebody's going to come and arrest me for something that I didn't do. I've been framed a couple times, and there's no way that these government bodies and government agencies won't just kill me. They killed my great grandfather, they killed my grandmother, and they killed my father, and they kidnapped and raped my children and cloned versions of my children after breeding me to these two specific families. I don't exactly know who the families are. It's been implied that there's some sort of connection between me and them. There's some sort of connection between me and World War One and World War Two and the Holocaust. There's some sort of connection between me and Germany and Arabia. There's some sort of connection between me and England and Asia. And there's some sort of connection between me, time travel, conspiracies, time traveling technology. There's some sort of connection between me and mafias, although I don't think that the mobs and the mafias are particularly fond of me. There's some sort of connection between me and religion and religion and science. I'm doing my best to kind of endure these things, but with what I'm doing, I'm cutting into people's money. But it looks like now that the drug trafficking conspiracies and the criminal conspiracies have graduated to human trafficking. And by submitting to being criminals, they have essentially submitted to slavery, which means that at somewhere in the social hierarchy there is someone that essentially owns all the criminal overlords and all the government leaders, and that all of them have essentially been grown and conditioned and have had their lives contained to one degree or another so that they experience things specifically in a certain way to make them who they are. I know this to be the case with me. I feel like my childhood, I was very neglected. I had a father who cared about me, but he just wasn't particularly observant because he was just kind of older and he just sort of figured whatever, like you're gonna figure it out. One of the things I'm not like really embarrassed to share with people is like I used to wear like dirty socks um like for months at a time, and like I didn't have sense enough just because my brain was inhibited in a certain way, either because of state mandated vaccines or because the device sits in my head, to wash my socks. Like the smart thing to do would have been to take your socks and then like hand wash them if you can't throw them in the washer. But I would do like weird things, like goofy things, like cover them with deodorant stick, which only not smelling as bad as they would before, but they like smelled still kind of bad. And I would like go to school wearing like my white uniform polo shirt that had holes in it because I would eat the food at the cafeteria, and then like the cafeteria food would stain my shirt with grease that I couldn't wash out. And I tried using like Pine Sol to wash it out. I tried using like all these different things to wash the grease stains out, but I couldn't wash the grease stains out. And so I just like used a bunch of bleach that essentially ate holes into my clothing. And then I was like forced to wear those things to work, and my dad just never really said anything about it, and either he wasn't paying attention or he didn't know or he didn't really care or he didn't think it was a big deal. um I don't really know. um there was always all these different times that I felt like I didn't really feel like I had the things that I needed, but the things that my father Thomas taught me were like how to grammatical like structure, how to read and write. He would always force me. He would always sit me down and force me to read with him. And sometimes I didn't feel like reading, but I would sit down and I would read with him. Um, he taught me a little bit about history and a little bit about science. He used to talk to me about like things like about like existence and like, do you think like how do you think all of this exists? I guess his knowledge on design must have been extremely limited, which is kind of weird because I feel like the aspects of design in the 60s and late 50s introduced the heavy-handed the ideas of design that influenced the culture of the 60s and its furniture and all the different things implied that there was people that were aware of design theory and completely aware of what, excuse me, intelligent design. um, I know that around the 60s drug culture gets popularized, and there's this sort of loose connection, as well as this self-defeating aspect of drug culture, that is sort of associated with like spiritual experiences and God and stuff like that, like to change your perception and perspective as an active thinking thing, and to be more aware of information that you're not typically aware of, and to be aware of different kinds of information or distorted forms of information, or to distort the way that your brain is perceiving information, seems to allude to other aspects of your experiencing existence, and in some way ties to a spiritual experience, or at the very least feels like a spiritual experience. But I want to say that I do not condone drugs, and I'm a recovered heroin, crystal meth addict. I'm I know for a fact that they influence people into being crack cocaine addicts, if they in fact exist. I know this for a fact because crack cocaine was never my favorite drug, and it's a drug that I know sells ridiculously easily, and I know what it's like to be addicted to hard drugs, and I know what addiction is like, and I'll even go further to say that the weirdest thing about heroin addiction is it seems like when you get addicted to heroin, like you can't just like use it one time and then like, oh, you're addicted. That's really not the way like heroin works. The way it works is that like you use it and then you use it like again the next day and then you use it again the next day. And then because your body's become accustomed to using it day after day after day, then you really need it the fourth day and the fifth day and the sixth day. And the way my body would respond to it was I used to be able to get high like 3 days in a row. And if I stopped the fourth day, I would usually be okay, although there would be this feeling like I want to go and buy heroin so I could get high again. The other thing that I know is heroin withdrawals would not be so bad if it wasn't for the device that's in our head. And I guess the same probably goes for crack cocaine come downs and cocaine come downs, which means that we might be able to just kind of walk it off and just kind of do something else and distract ourselves if it wasn't for the person that has these devices installed in our heads, that forces us to consume more alcohol and more tobacco and more food and more sex or whatever. So, um, on top of that, the other thing that I used to do, and it's part of the reason that my heart was worn out, was in order to overcome my heroin withdrawals, I got the brilliant idea that of instead of tossing and turning in my bed all night long, being upset about not having heroin, I would inject crystal meth, and I figured that it it kind of felt like it appeased the urge to get high on heroin, and the other thing, it appeased the itch to get high on heroin, and then you were just high on crystal meth, and then all of a sudden you weren't thinking about the heroin as much, and it's not a great idea. I'm completely certain that it will kill you if you do that. And shooting crystal meth is not at all smart. There's stuff that they cook it with that I've been told that they cook it with that they use to like clean some blood off of cement. I don't know if that's true or not. I can't imagine that it's great for you, especially if they're cutting it with bug spray. I've gotten high on bug spray a couple of times. There's been times where I've gone to somebody or somebody I didn't know, and I've literally shot up bug spray and then like sat there and injected and then like sat there for a couple minutes after I've shot up and then been like, wow, I just got bug spray. And it's not the healthiest thing in the world, obviously. And I don't think that I'm supposed to be alive. Obviously, this device in my head has the capacity to trigger responses and feelings, and it can also relay memories, other people's memories, so that I can experience things that other people have experienced. And I don't really know. Like, I really don't know what's going on. I'm trying my best to kind of keep up with whatever it is, whatever routines that I'm doing. Like I'm literally telekinetically harassed. I'm telepathically harassed. Um, I'm like, I'm seriously like, for the most part, I'm nothing short of miserable. I'm really like nothing short of miserable. And like, I'm just like here and I'm just like trying to figure out what the hell these people want. And, I don't understand how it seems like I'm the burden, but I don't really understand how regular people that need help would be the burden either. And it seems like somebody somewhere is being selfish, and like I'm having to deal with the fact that somebody's catering to somebody that doesn't really mean everybody well, and they're just having a rough time either cutting ties or having a rough time being honest about something. And I'm relatively convinced that the reason that I'm here is somebody somewhere is intent on destroying the lower working classes with the intention of creating such a big gap between the highest class of people and the middle class that it is completely impossible for anybody to ever achieve the same level of status and power and prosperity. Um, I'm like caught up in these things that like I'm pretty sure somewhere there's like completely profound intellectuals that discuss things about like the coming to existence and coming to intelligence on planet Earth, and it's rather strange that we would have been planted on planet Earth and that life would have evolved and developed in just a way that we learned all these different things about ourselves and about each other and come into a moment where we discover these advanced technologies and kind of discover that we like are to some degree or another, also profound and kind of unique and kind of special, and that we are meant to do more than just subvert our cousins or brothers or neighbors to shackles and yokes for the purpose of what it doesn't really make sense. The pursuit of material wealth. There's a universe full of gold, full of helium, full of carbon, full of silver, full of magnesium. Um, Accessing those things can't be particularly difficult with space travel. So there's absolutely no reason why anybody on planet Earth or anybody in the universe should be going hungry or should be poor. um, Water is a renewable resource. There's absolutely no reason why anybody on planet Earth should be going without water. And if you have water and you have sunlight and you have dirt, then you have the capacity to produce food readily and keep it available, readily available, which means there's absolutely no reason why anybody should be going hungry. So I find myself in the grips of some sort of European menace, in the grips of a menacing European body of power. Maybe not European. Maybe it's a body of men from a different past. I still haven't exactly know. I don't exactly know enough about the principles of time travel to know if it is possible to go back in time and change the past, and to know if, like, let's say, if I went back in time and influenced people into not making me, would I still then exist? Would there be a point in space time in which I was still made, and would I only have access to one time stream? Those are things that I find interesting and that I would like to know. Um, and I would like to. I would like very much to study, but they won't even let me read. I was supposed to go in and work out today, and they didn't even let me work out. My back is injured, and they trigger it, and they honestly messed my back up pretty badly. Um, I've I've just been doing all these goofy and weird things, and it's because I'm not in complete control. But the scarier thing is that I'm not in complete control of myself, but all the people that run the world are also just as equally not in complete control of themselves. And it's the reason that they do things like rape children and murder their own family members or murder their own subjects. And I guess it's part of the reason why people who are trying to change something are having trouble getting any kind of real traction. I am the result of an assault on the world population, as well as the result of a class war, a technology war, a religious war, a criminal conspiracy war. I don't know. So, this is where I'm at for the day. Autumn and Ethan Reyes, wherever you guys are out there, you're in my thoughts. And please be good. Take an interest in the Tanakh and the Quran, even if they tell you those things aren't like the real history or whatever. Just take an interest in it and try to incorporate it into your life as much as possible. And be aware of yourself and try not to impose yourself on people and always act right. That way you will never be in the wrong. Okay.